republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back. Once again, we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And joining me tonight is the lost, the Cajun Cowboy.
Oh, man, I've been lost everywhere, man.
You're back by popular demand.
Okay.
I tell you what, I've had more people ask, where's the Cajun Cowboy? When's he going to come back on? When's he going to do his podcast episode? When's he going to come back on your show?
I got one ready. I just need to do it.
Yeah,
It took, I tell you what, this last one, it took at least 30 hours to find the clip I'm looking for. And I still didn't find the right one, but I'm like, that's good enough.
That's dedication.
Done. Well, got to do it right.
Yeah. So I've had more people to ask, when you coming back on? Where did you piss him off? Is he? I don't think so. He's been busy. I've been busy. It's just it is what it is. We were talking.
No, they have purchased these excellent eucalyptus mint candles. Now I'm back.
Here we go. We got it stunk in here for a while. No, I think we were going to have you here last week, and then I had some family down, and then it just never. Once I stop, I stop.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. I was ready to go, and I'm like, I need to do mine. And I could not find the stuff, and I'm like, I'll just go do yours.
Well, and, I think...
And you told me no.
Well, yeah, you were all ready, and I went inside because some family was down taking the class. I went inside, and they sat on the couch. That was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Don't sit down until you're freaking done.
No.
And I sat down, and then you called. I'm like, I don't think I want to do it tonight.
I do the same thing. When I'm out working, I'm rolling. I'm getting stuff done, right? And as soon as I stop for too long...
Yeah.
Think I'm going home. Think it's over.
Yeah, you can't stop. You can't stop till you're done, man. So how you been?
All right. Good.
You've been buying ammo, buying firearms. Nothing. What have you done Second Amendment related? We're going to bring back that part of the show. You haven't heard that for a year.
No, I loaded up my vehicle with firearms and everything, ready to come out and do the last podcast, and I got shut down. So
yeah, you didn't. That was my fault.
I didn't really do it. I didn't do anything Second Amendment related.
Oh, yeah, sure you did. Sure you did. You, I don't know. I don't know what you did.
No, nothing I can think of.
Nothing, man. You got to come back out. It's getting nice out. The weather's nice. Is. You need to come back out. We need to shoot.
It's time to shoot.
It is time to shoot. It's beautiful out there right now.
I need to shoot.
You get to shoot my red dot. Okay. Now, red dot is, everyone I know is buying a red dot now. Okay. I'm an influencer.
Oh, you was hating the red dot.
I love it now. I still like iron sights, but I tell you what, there was a gal in my women's group. They came out on Thursday. They shot for the first time. We haven't shot yet this year. We had some other stuff that we were doing. And she's really new to firearms, and I gave her that red dot, and she's like, oh, this looks real, like, kind of intimidating. Mm-hmm. She picked it up and was just popping plates, just bang, 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 bang. She absolutely freaking loved it. It's so much fun.
I got one, and I never spent enough time with it.
Well, it's not like you don't have a place to shoot.
I know. But I did that. I bought all kind of stuff. I just, like, trick it out. Let's just get everything. Give me all of it. Yeah. And, I didn't really spend any time with it.
I want a light. I want a laser. I want a red dot. I want a strobe.
I got them all.
I want a little scope mounted to the top.
Lights, lasers, strobes, red dots.
Magnifier.
EOTech's got the suppressors on it.
The freaking mag flare. I want the compensator.
Yeah.
I want the $400 night sights.
You got them too, man. You know what's stupid?
How many times have you used them?
Never. I don't even know if they light up anymore.
That tritium done leaked out, man. I tell you what.
What are those things good for?
I don't. I said $400. I don't know. I mean,
for years.
I have no idea. It's like little radioactive.
Yeah, they get dim though.
It's radioactive crap in there though.
Yeah.
So I decided and I think I mentioned it before on the podcast. I'm not going to get suppressor height sights for my gun with the red dot on it. I'm just gonna, if I'm in a self-defense scenario, right, and I'm up close and personal, I'm gonna be point shooting anyway. But I'm just gonna put the guy in the frame of the freaking red dot screen and squeeze that trigger.
You know what's crazy is I was about red dot, night sights and everything, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to pull your firearm at, pitch ass black, where you have to have night sights to see the sights? There's an interesting thing, because I did this before.
Okay.
You can see the sights.
Mm-hmm.
Can't see the target.
Yeah. Well, that's where the flashlight
And
comes in.
pitch black. Yeah, and then everybody, don't get a flashlight. That gives away your position. I'm like, you have never pulled a gun in the dark.
You know, and there's like two different thoughts on the flashlights, right? Some people want a firearm, a gun-mounted flashlight. Some of them don't. Some of them don't want a flashlight at all. At the very least, now people are carrying the little flashlights, right?
Right.
And, they say, you want to be able to identify your target. And I get that. I understand that. Do I carry a flashlight? Nope, I do not.
Well, I understand, and I don't either. But sometimes I do. But for this one instance, if people try and give blanket statements to where, you don't need a flashlight, that gives away your position. I'm like, pull your gun in the dark. I'm talking pitch black. Pull your gun.
Yeah.
What are you even shooting at? If I'm going, if I got
sound.
SEAL Team 6 outside
I'm shooting
and
at
I'm
a
trying to
sound.
sneak up on them, all right, no flashlights.
Right.
If I'm just pulling a handgun to defend myself, why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I like firearm mounted flashlights. I go on my pistol, right? It's too much. It's too bulky. Just too much going on there. Sure. I might.
I don't know that. You got to get another holster now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I could keep a light next to my bed. I don't have a problem with that. Typically in my house, lights are on anyway. So it is what it is. My wife works late. So
I had to run around the house. It was dark out there.
Right.
Dark.
I just send the wife, tell me if there's anything out there. I'll be back up.
Release the hounds.
That's right. Ooh, yeah. There you go. So there's another add-on that we talked about too. There's the laser, right?
Right.
The laser, and I think the laser has a place. You don't hear about them a whole lot anymore.
No.
And I know someone he'll be watching this sooner or later. He doesn't listen to the podcast, but he'll watch this. And he got a laser for his gun, or his girlfriend's gun. And I think he's learning a lot about the laser. He goes, man, you could see everything when you use that laser. I said, oh yeah, you learn a lot about how you shoot when you run a laser. You can see the trigger press. You can see it jerk.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
You can see absolutely everything. So yeah, it's got its place. It's a really good training tool as well, right?
What's funny is turn that laser on, aim at something, now hold it steady.
Yeah, and that's and so that's the thing too. So
You can see your heart beating that
you
thing.
can, and I have people that try to shoot who are new, and they try to hold completely steady, and I'm like, the harder you try to hold completely 100% steady, the more you're gonna shake. We all move a little bit, right? You just can't. Our hearts are beating. We got blood pumping through our veins. You got muscles twitching. It is what it is. You're not going to hold completely still. And I think what happens when people have a red dot, like I said, they're good tools, but you've got to understand that you can't hold completely still. So when you do see that red dot out there and the red dot's moving a little bit, you're like, oh, why isn't it just gets in your brain, right? I can't hold this thing still. I can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work like that.
Well, not only that, if you shine it at 8 feet across the room, a little, just nothing makes that thing bounce and jump.
Well, and so that goes ahead and backs up what I tell everyone too, that if you're off just a little bit,
yeah,
even at even if it's like at like let's say 4 yards or 7 yards, you're off a little bit. It's like 2 inches on the target. I get the question is, Todd, why do you have your students stand so close to the target, right? When you're out here in class? Well, because if they're new and I take them back to, the 75 or 50 feet that you normally shoot at, right? You're going to be off by like 3 feet. It's like geometry. And I do get that. I get people that they haven't necessarily taken a class.
Killing the neighbor's cow.
Yeah. Well, and I had a family member come down and he's like, I can't. He's always told me over there, I can't shoot a pistol. I can't shoot one. I just can't. And then after class, he comes and takes his class. And then after class, he's like, well, whenever I go out and shoot my pistol, I'm shooting like 75 feet. And I'm like, well, no freaking wonder you're not hitting anything.
What the hell is he trying to hit at 75 feet?
A lot of people they look at it. They don't think about it maybe from a self-defense. They just, I need to be able to shoot this, right? They don't think about self-defense type distances. And
what was his target size at 75 feet?
Just a piece of paper. Just
silhouette?
It's just a normal target, right? People don't get that. They think 50, 75 foot. That's where you need to be. I'm like, that's not where you need to be. At 50 or 70.
That man's running away.
Yeah. At 50 or 75 feet,
shoot him.
You need to be going for your rifle. You need to be taking cover. You need to be doing something, right? I mean, you could shoot if you needed to, but
go fix a sandwich until he gets close.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But it's just amazing. And they're like, I can't believe we shoot that. I can't shoot. And I'm like, I bet you can shoot, but I bet you've been shooting at freaking 75 feet.
Good grief.
Yeah. What's the farthest shot you've taken with a pistol?
I've taken some pretty crazy shots with a pistol.
Just because.
Yeah. Well, we just used to do that, but
Me too.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I have when I started reloading, I would reload like for my 357, actually my 38. It was a 357, but I was loading 38s in it. And his little snub nose Taurus revolver, it's bounced around here. You've seen it a few times.
Oh yeah, the broke one.
Yeah, it still broke. And I got out to there was this you know what cliche rock is? That white rock that breaks apart, you know? And it was like, it's almost like a big hard dirt clod. And there was one out there, and I was shooting it I was like 100 yards away.
Okay.
And
How big was your target?
It was big. It's a big rock. It was a couple feet across. I mean, it was big, right?
Okay.
3 feet across, something like that. And I figured out exactly where I had to hold to hit that thing. And I could pop it every single time with that little snub nose revolver. I was having to hold like this far up, you know, just because 100 yards is a pretty long ways.
Yeah.
Especially for a little snub nose. I mean, the barrel's like that long, you know. And what was really cool was it was like I was shooting long range with like a rifle. You'd hear the handgun go off, bang. Pting. There was a pause, right? That big old heavy bullet was not moving that fast.
We used to do that with 45s, and you get a little bit of a cheat because you can see it. You can see the round going.
Yeah.
And you kind of adjust, and you can make some hell of a shots.
I tell you what, talking about seeing rounds when you shoot, out here on my range, if you're shooting towards the east in the evening as the sun's going down, if someone's shooting and you're standing behind them at the right angle, it's really kind of cool. As they shoot, you can actually see the bullet, because what happens is the back of the bullet reflects off the sun that's setting or going down. You know, everything's got to be at the right level. It reflects, and you just see a little round spot of light just reflecting that sun zipping into the target. It's actually pretty cool.
And this is with what round?
9mm. Just a 9mm. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
You can just see the sun reflecting off the back of it. It's pretty cool. When they stand up there and they shoot the plates, if you're just in the right spot, you can see it. It's pretty cool. Tried to catch it a few times, like slow it down or whatever, and see if I could. I never can catch it, but I'm not just me seeing it; other people see it as well. But so I'm not just seeing things here.
Pulling a brilliant mind out here. Man.
That's right. Yeah.
I forgot you don't watch movies. Never mind.
Brilliant. I think I know that movie.
Russell Crowe.
Yes, I know that movie.
Okay.
Come on, I used to watch movies. I just don't do it now. Just like I used to read books. I don't do that now either.
Have you watched Casino yet?
Nope. That would require me to sit. The only way we were talking about this. I don't watch movies. I watch a little TV.
No Goodfellas.
No, I've never seen those. I watch a little TV. I watch it while I'm eating lunch, right? I watch it for like 15, 20-minute intervals.
Okay.
So we were talking about, you were watching a series on like Netflix or whatever, and you would watch like 6 seasons in like a couple days.
Yeah. I'm sitting there and watching it, and the sun's coming up. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, it'll take me. I mean, I think I'm into that same series. I'm 3 seasons in, and it's taken me like months.
I did 5 seasons, I think, in 3 days.
Good Lord, man. Yeah. And as slow as I watch it,
13 shows a season. I'm like, let's go.
As slow as I watch them too, I lose interest. I'll pick up another show before I go back to that one. I've got so many unfinished unfinished, sitcoms and shows and series and everything just sitting in there. I never finish them. Never finish them.
I try. It's got to be pretty bad for me to just walk away. What I like to do is let them build up and then, crush a season at a time or something.
Right.
Because if I got to wait a week for a show, that just irritates me.
Yeah.
You should watch. You should watch Ozark. Anyway, we got off.
No. I like Ozark.
We done got off into television.
No, that's cool. I like Ozark. So hey, I forgot to always point this out there. It's me and Tarver, Cajun Cowboy.
Yeah.
Sorry, and I'm running YouTube live here, and so you can comment if you want. We'll see him. We'll respond to him vocally, but I'm not gonna type over here. I'm just not gonna. There's no way. I mean, we're set up not funny, but I'm trying to watch here so you can see my face and not look at the back of my head the entire time as I look at you. And now I'm not adding typing.
Yeah. You need like a swivel chair or something.
Into the mix. Get be moving all over the place. So a new gun that has come out. I know you haven't had your hands on it yet, but I do know that a listener, a subscriber, has gotten one. Couple of them actually. Is that Walther PDP? Had you heard about it before I mentioned it to you today?
Nope.
No.
I kind of been out of it, man. I'm like, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about selling it. Nobody has 30 rounds, and I got stacks of them.
There's no rounds. You can make some money.
I have a 30 that's never been loaded.
Really?
Yeah.
Lever action?
Yeah.
Wow, you could make some bucks, man.
Yeah. The people said they're snatching them up. I'm like, I got damn more to go with it. Anyway.
Very nice. So
I haven't been looking at what's new and upcoming.
Yeah. It's weird because without SHOT Show, you don't really know what's going to show up till it just all of a sudden shows up. I'm like, what the hell is a PDP? But we've had one subscriber actually two subscribers get their hands on them, and they really like them. For me, I don't know. I've heard good things about it, but it just looks like another Walther to me. And
have you put your hands on it?
I have not yet. But it just looks like another Walther to me. I mean, I look at it and, it's got different stippling, and I'm not talking bad about it, but I've never been a huge fan of Walther, really. I mean, they seem like they function okay, but they just...
PPQ trigger, though.
They just... yeah, but you can get that in the Canic.
Yes, you can.
So I'd go with the Canic. That's just me, because the Canic feels better to me.
Right. But I'm curious that they got the new and improved trigger. What's crazy is how do you improve on the PPQ trigger? I don't know.
I don't know.
Now, what's crazy is you go to some of their other handguns and they got crap triggers.
Right.
So I don't know which one they improved.
I don't know. Well, we need to find out. So if anyone's listening that's got a PDP that can fill us in, tell us.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got I'll get a chance to shoot one here real quick.
And if you've shot a PPQ.
Yes.
To know the difference. So
another cool thing was, that's got different stippling and all that crap, but it looks like the bottom of the grip is flared out a little bit, and it's supposed to be better ergonomics for like finding that red dot. And so I'm kind of interested in how that works, because I know one of the ways to locate your red dot in your screen quicker if you struggle with it right is as you bring it up, you squeeze with that pinky. Mm-hmm. on your shooting hand, your gun hand, and it'll pull that red dot right into place. Well, this looks like it's flared out, so it kind of positions your hand, maybe the angle a little bit better.
I didn't even know they were doing that.
I didn't know they were doing it either. So I'm assuming it angles your hand so you can find that red dot quicker, or maybe it just gives you a little more purchase with your pinky finger.
I don't know.
To go ahead and adjust it.
It's interesting, and I didn't look at. They have a compact model. Is it flared for the pinky there? Because I doubt your pinky's even on it.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, speaking of guns, and this was interesting because I don't like guns where my hand does not fit on the grip. I hate them. I need all my fingers on the freaking grip of the gun. But
I hate that.
At my women's class, they actually shot for the first time because weather, and we did some other first aid classes and whatnot. And they actually did some shooting on Thursday night. And one of the ladies who'd never owned a gun, she went out and bought this, and first time, brand new shooter, she ended up with a CZ. I think it was I can't remember. Is it a P01 or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
And you have one?
No.
Oh.
I got the P10.
P10. Okay. I think
I
hers
think
is
that's what it
a 01. I tell you what, that's a pretty cool little gun. And I picked it up and shot it, and it's the, I don't know a lot about CZs, but it's like I think it's the compact model because the grip was really short on it.
Right.
But I shot the crap out of that thing. That thing was awesome. I really enjoyed the trigger, and what a great firearm. I commended her on her choice of first time firearm purchases.
Probably the only thing there.
It doesn't either way. She either made a smart decision or she got real lucky. One of the two. That's a good firearm.
I'll take luck.
Yeah. That's a great firearm. In my last class, there was. I always ask him in class. Hey, what firearms did you bring to shoot and all this stuff? And there's a big guy in the back, and he's like, I brought a DB, and I'm thinking, oh, good grief, you brought a DB9. Yeah, it's a DB9. And I'm like, I'm thinking about your little man killer, right?
Yeah,
no, it's full size. It was a full size gun. It was every bit as big like your Canic.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I didn't shoot it, but I'm like, well, that's not the one I was expecting. That little stupid thing I can't hit anything with.
That's not a true DB9.
That's not. It's got to hurt, and you have to hate it.
Yeah. And you can't hold on to it.
Yeah, I don't. Whatever. I guess I need to search DB more, Diamondback more. I know. I did find
after having the DB9, I'm kind of not looking at that manufacturer anymore. I'm like, yeah, okay.
There's a whole Facebook page. It's like DB, and they mostly talk about the rifles and stuff, but they're all in on DB, man. Those guys are like fanatics.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess. I
want to ask if anyone shot the actual DB9 successfully. Because if you are, you're my freaking hero. I can't get that thing to hit. Well, I can. I'm consistently low to the left.
Well, people were telling me, I can hit with it. I'm like, I do not believe you.
That's what I told you.
I will show up with it, and I will put it in your hand.
I've got some new techniques, and you're going to bring it back out.
Okay.
And I'm going to freaking hit with it.
You going to cheat?
No, I've got some new techniques.
Okay. Your new training.
My new training. I'm going to see if it works on that little gun. If it does, I'm all in, man.
I can't hardly hold on to the thing.
I'm going to buy, if I can hit with it, I'm going to purchase it from you. I'm $50 and I'll walk away with it. How much did you spend on that thing?
I have no idea.
So $50, you're good.
It's become a legend now.
As far as you
it's
know.
one of those that you bring out whenever people come to shoot.
Yeah.
You got to get the Desert Eagle. They can talk trash about it, but everybody wants to shoot it.
Yeah.
And then you got to get the DB9. See, look at this.
You didn't like that big one? Let's try it. See if you like this little one.
Let's see how you do with this one.
We go ultimate from one extreme to the next. I love it. Freaking love it.
I just lost track. I'm like, man, I think I sold some of my guns. I don't even remember.
I wish I had that problem. Oh man. So I'm trying to think if I had any other odd guns in that class. There was what was it? A SAR?
Okay. I don't know what that is.
I know they've got one over at D&B. And I've looked at it and it seems okay.
Is it in the gun aisle?
Yeah, it's in the gun aisle. It's called
over there with the shovels or something?
a SAR 9mm.
A SAR.
A SAR. I don't know who makes it. I mean, someone. If Magnum is watching or James, he'll jump in and say something. But I've never had one come through class till last week. Seemed to shoot okay. But
that's not that new Turk. There's another Turkish gun.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I saw some of those.
Yeah,
I even picked them up and was
They're
checking
cheap.
them out.
They're like $3.99.
Yeah, and they were trying to sell me on it. I'm like, I got the Canic. Why would I want that?
Why would I want the lower model?
But it's another Turkish. If that's the one I'm thinking of.
I know it is. I remember now when I picked up the one at D&B, I think it said made in Turkey.
Yeah, that's another manufacturer that's trying to get their military, and I'm like, why would I even bother?
Yeah.
Those Turks, man, they just stole the PPQ trigger and made it right.
Yeah, they did. They made a fine firearm.
They did. So I'm like, why would I bother?
Fine firearm. So let's let me grab my cell phone, sir. I made some notes.
Okay, you looking up notes?
We're getting all technical.
Got a notepad here.
Hey, look it. Someone followed me on Instagram.
Oh no.
I am on all the socials. I've even got a page saved on TikTok.
You got an OnlyFans?
No. That we shh.
Okay.
Keep that one quiet.
You got to tell people, man, or they don't know.
You got to keep that one. Got to keep that one quiet, man. I do that at night.
Okay.
That's how I make all the money, and I'm able to keep instructing classes.
That's why you're so wealthy.
I have an OnlyFans, and you know what? Only my fans know about it.
Okay.
Obviously, you're not a true fan.
Nope.
So,
hell no.
So on Thursday night, we're gonna shift gears again. Get that out of your head.
I'm
right?
trying. It's not wanting to go away.
I'm doing things on there. Never mind. So on Thursday night, there was another shooting over at the FedEx place.
Oh shit!
This is why you haven't come over for a while, isn't it?
Oh, that was good.
Okay.
For only $5.99. All right, move on.
Watch what I do with this 1911.
Ooh, okay.
Do you want to take a look at my
I'm
DB?
crying, man.
Do you want to take a look at my DB9?
Oh, okay.
We're done.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I ruined the show.
No, you didn't. It's okay. People missed you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So Thursday night, the night before my radio show on Friday, Friday morning, good God.
Damn, man. Okay.
I woke up Friday morning,
Right.
to the news of that shooter over at the FedEx place over in Indy.
Okay.
Interesting how these have been popping up. So I was
man. All of a sudden, where's all these shooters coming from?
So I made somewhat of a timeline, and there's probably some that I missed, and I roughly made this timeline before the radio show, as I'm sitting on my couch, right? So I'm going to kind of read it off to you guys. Okay?
Is this the mass shooter per president type thing?
No. It's everything that's happened in the past, along with the different legislation. It's interesting to watch because you still can't. I don't know if you've listened to the past podcasts. I'm sure you have, but it's just interesting how everything pops up, right? And how it happens certain times. So on March 11th, we had H.R. 8 and H.R. 1446 passed by the House, okay? On March 12th, a judge in Boulder, Colorado, blocks an assault weapons ban. On March 16th, in Atlanta, Georgia, there was a shooting where 8 people were killed. That was the guy that was going around to the Asian places and killed all them Asian people.
Right.
Okay. On Wednesday, March 17th, in Stockton, California, 5 people who were preparing for a vigil were all shot in a drive-by shooting. Okay. Thursday, March 18th, in Gresham, Oregon, 4 victims were taken to a hospital after a shooting in a city east of Portland. Saturday, March 20th, in Houston, 5 people were shot after a disturbance inside of a club. Saturday, March 20th, in Dallas, 8 people were shot by an unknown assailant, 1 of whom died. Saturday, March 20th, in Philadelphia, 1 person was killed and 5 more were injured during a shooting at an illegal party. It's Monday, March 22nd, in Boulder, Colorado. Now, that's just 10 days after they banned, or the judge blocked the assault weapons ban in Boulder. There was 10 people, including a Boulder police officer, were killed inside of a supermarket, a grocery store. And then in Orange, California, on March 31st, there's 4 people killed and wounded at an office building. On April 7th, some executive actions were announced. We had on April 14th, a mag ban was introduced. On April 15th, a suppressor ban was introduced. And then in Indianapolis on April 15th, a shooting at a FedEx warehouse, 8 people dead. I mean, this hasn't happened in how long? And then all of a sudden, bam, 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 bam. And they seem, I'm surprised I haven't lost. I got a little nuts on a couple of my shows. You don't want to talk conspiracy theories,
right.
but my gosh,
come
right?
on, man.
I mean, come on. They announce something happens. They announce something happens. They announce, and it's just like that. It falls, right? Everything happens after they announce or on the verge of them announcing something or needing votes for something. And if you look at a lot of these people, the big ones that you hear about, what's wrong with them? Mental health. They've been on some kind of mental health drugs. They got mental health. The FBI knew about them. Didn't do anything.
Knew about all of them.
Has interviewed them. They were still able to go out and purchase a gun. And it's kind of like we got a whole like MK Ultra thing going on
but
here.
If you take a selfie at the Capitol, You'd be in hell without bail.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely nuts, right? I mean, I keep throwing that out there because I think it's funny, but it's like MK Ultra-ish, right? I mean, it's like they have control of these people. They know who they are. It's very interesting that they know who they are before they do a lot of these things.
Yeah. Had contact with almost all of them. Yeah. He was at the barbecue. He was at the FBI barbecue last week. We know it. It's all right.
Absolutely amazing, right? And they just pop up. You can almost, and I think we've said it here on the podcast, or it may be me just talking to you. They want to do this, and I kind of call you up, and I'm like,
get ready.
Well, get ready. It's going to happen. And then boom, 2 days later, or the next day, or that night. It's absolutely amazing.
What's funny is if you look up mass shooters by president, it's like 4, 8, 9, and then it gets to Obama, it's like 40.
Yeah.
Gets under Trump, and it goes down to like 5 or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was very low numbers, and then he got in, it's exploding. Now Biden's in, and it's exploding. I'm like, come on, man.
So, and I did read something. I don't have the list in front of me, but I mean, you got your bigger ones, right? I think, and you have some shootings, that happen, right? But they said, and I think they consider as a mass shooting is anything over four people. What's their criteria?
I don't know, but I know the thing you're talking about.
Like 120 of them.
Yeah, study for. It's got to be 4 people shot and classified as this person's mass shooter, because I know the one.
Yeah, but it's like I think my numbers could be wrong. I should have printed that article off, but I think it said like this year alone, there's been like over 100. I would say like 120 of them or 109 of them or some crap like that. It's absolutely amazing. These ones are just
their numbers.
They're just popping up though.
You get a couple of those every weekend in Chicago though.
Oh yeah, you do.
I mean, that just happens.
And then we just talked about what we talked about. We got the magazine ban, right? That just came up. He's encouraging that, and he's encouraging now a suppressor ban that came out. This came out like one right after another. One day was a mag ban. The next day was a suppressor ban. And I've actually got a little bit of audio where he's talking about the mag ban, and it's anyhow, it's interesting. It's interesting audio.
Okay.
I don't love listening to Biden talk, but he's just funny. You know what I'm getting at?
I hate him. I changed the channel. I turn it off as soon as he comes on.
So do, and I got just so you know, I got this set up so we can pause and talk.
Okay.
If we need to. So let me fire this up here.
Now, I know this has been a hobby horse of mine for a long time.
And he's going to ride that hobby horse right to his death, man. Which I don't know. He doesn't seem to be doing well.
Got it done once. We should also ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in this country. For that 10 years we had it done, the number of mass shootings actually went down.
Lie.
Yep.
Even law enforcement officials have told me and told other champions of this legislation, they sometimes feel outgunned.
So they feel outgunned. So let's back up, because there's actually plenty of articles out there that say the reason why that one for 10 years, she talked about that assault weapons ban for 10 years, and it ended. And you want to know what encouraged them to go ahead and pull the plug on that? Is one of the most crooked organizations out there. The FBI came back with a study that said, this isn't helping anything. This isn't not helping anything. That came from the FBI. That study of this is having no effect on it.
Right.
Okay. And he's heard from law enforcement officials that they're outgunned. How are they freaking outgunned?
They're not. I mean, the last time they were outgunned was that bank job in California.
Yeah.
With the 2 guys with AKs.
Yeah. Freaking outgunned.
Now, since then, they have ARs in the trunk, so they're not outgunned.
Yeah,
at all.
It's just amazing the way this guy talks. He's got some more coming.
And for regular street stuff, they're not outgunned at all.
Well, you haven't heard about the mags he's talking about next. Okay, hang on.
10 rounds, right?
No. We're getting here.
Okay,
you guys, you got a little story.
All right.
By assault weapons with large capacity magazines. There's no reason someone needs a weapon of war with 100 rounds, 100 bullets that can be fired from that weapon.
100. Do you walk around routinely with a 100-round magazine or drum on your AR?
No, not too often. But I tell you what, with
It's
the
freaking
riots
heavy.
going on, I'd like to have a couple.
Yeah, it's, awful heavy, right? I mean, freaking 100 rounds.
100 rounds.
You don't need that. You don't need that. Nobody needs that.
He's letting streets buildings are being burned to the ground. People are being attacked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I can get 100 rounds, I want 100 rounds.
Yeah, that's
I want 200 rounds.
That's right.
Give me all of them, because he's letting everything go absolute. These peaceful protesters are destroying the whole cities.
Yeah.
I want 100 rounds.
And he's wanting to take these away from what? Weapons of war.
Weapons of war.
I don't have any weapons of war. Do
I don't
you?
either.
I don't have no weapons of war. I tried to buy a tank. They wouldn't let me.
I think I sold my 1911.
Good for you. Good for you.
Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that.
Nobody.
What does his security detail carry?
We got that done when I
Weapons
was a
of
United
war.
States Senator. It wasn't easy going up against the gun lobby, but it saved lives.
The FBI said it did not save lives. The same corrupt organization that is in your pocket came out and said, this is not saving lives.
No.
We don't have to continue this ban on. It's not helping. It's having zero effect.
More people are killed by hammers than assault rifle. I'm saying ARs.
ARs, don't say that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I preach. That's a trigger button for me. Excuse the pun. Excuse the pun. That's a trigger button for me.
Well, I was sitting here using their vernacular, and I should not have.
Yeah. Well, I tell you
More
what.
people killed by hammers.
Yeah.
Hands and fists.
Oh yeah.
Hands and feet.
You know what irritates me, and I've seen this a lot lately, and I talked about this on the radio show that I do, and no one seemed to respond, but I drive around, you know what I'm seeing? These cars, these vehicles, right, all over now, with these stickers of an AR, and then below it says assault life.
Okay.
I'm like, so you're playing into the you're playing into the vernacular, right? You're playing into the phrases that the media has come up with. It's absolutely. Why would you put that on your? Come on, think, people. Do you really not know what AR stands for? It doesn't stand for assault rifle. And when you put a picture of an AR-15 on there, and then you put the assault life, you're not helping our cause, Minnie. I mean, you really aren't, right? I mean, is that? I hate that.
I get irritated by that little Idaho that shoots a tree. What's up with that, man?
We're shooting trees, man.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're going to shoot a tree, is not a backstop.
Okay.
A tree is not a backstop.
If I had a weapon that could shoot trees at you, son,
Sweet.
we going to the bank.
So what do we got up here?
Hit them with a few trees.
I need your help. Most people are killed by bumblebee stings.
Okay.
There's a lot of people killed by bee stings every
Yeah.
year. Allergic reactions, they die. I mean, I don't know. They want our guns. They made that clear. They're going to come after them. I don't know what's going to stick and what's going to not. You know, you got to pay attention to this. You know, they got these big, scary bills that everyone focuses on and talks about, and nothing's really happened with them. And then he did some executive actions, and you got to pay attention to some of that.
He's stacking the court, though.
He's stacking the court, and then he comes up with these mag bans, suppressor bans. You know, he wants this done. He wants that done.
If he can stack the court,
he can get it all done, probably.
He can do anything.
He can do anything.
And his new ATF director was one of the homicidal maniacs from Waco.
Give us the lowdown on that dude.
I don't have the
Give us
lowdown.
what you know.
He
sir.
he was in the field office of Waco at the time, and he was out there after they were done, posing over the dead bodies, the corpses of women and children, burned to a crisp. He's standing there posing in front of them, taking a picture. And this is supposed to be our new ATF director.
Trash.
Now these people, because I know everybody watched the documentary when I told them to.
Yeah, sure, I did.
People tried to leave, and they murdered them as they tried to leave. Then they set them on fire and wouldn't let them leave. They killed them all there. It was an execution.
Right.
I mean, it's a terrorist organization.
And this guy's not going to be in charge of the ATF.
He's in charge of the ATF. Was going to be.
That's insane.
Horrible human being. Horrible. I don't wish harm on anybody, but I will celebrate when he passes on.
But we're safe here. We're safe here. This is Idaho.
Sure.
This is Idaho. We don't need to do anything. We're safe here, right?
No.
That's the consensus. we've got the Second Amendment sanctuaries. The city has it. The county has it. The state kind of has something.
They better get ready to start talking about secession.
Yeah. Well,
that's the only way out.
Well, we don't have to worry about it. We're going to be protected.
Okay.
That's why we got this. It was important to do that. Don't get me wrong, but I've always said too, when the rubber meets the road, we're going to find out. Yeah. We're going to find out what the local government, what the local sheriff's department will do for us. Yeah. We'll see if they're going to protect us.
When it comes time for force, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
When it comes time to getting in harm's way, what are you going to do?
Exactly. So
I know a lot of people will be ready to stand behind you, but you got to take the lead, man.
Oh, yeah. Where is this? Okay. So speaking of Idaho, did I send you this, what our governor said?
I don't think so.
Okay. Our governor.
Trash.
Brad Chicken Little. I'm trying to think of what to say. Brad Chicken Little. After they went ahead and they talked about all these executive actions by the president, all this, whatever. He came out. Our president came out and he made a statement on Facebook because that's going to fix absolutely everything. Let me read you what he put out there. Idaho will not stand for President Biden's unilateral actions to erode your Second Amendment rights. Idaho's congressional delegation and I are in lockstep in our opposition to the president's actions and his direction to Congress to strip law-abiding Americans of their constitutional right to keep and bear arms. There you go. He made a statement. It's all fixed. Everyone likes him again.
Okay.
No. Here's the thing, Governor Little. You can't just put a statement and make it here. This is the guy right now. There's two gun bills. There's one about teacher carry, okay, and it's for the state of Idaho, and there's one about it's called the Idaho Small Arms Act, and it's to strengthen up Idaho and their Second Amendment sanctuary type thing. It's a pretty awesome bill, right?
Okay.
Guess what? They're being stalled out. They're being stalled out. They are not moving forward. He goes out and puts out something like this on Facebook, and he thinks this is going to fix everything. If you're serious about it, actions speak louder than words. A Facebook post doesn't get you very far, you moron.
No, sign laws.
Sign laws. Tell them you want to see these bills moved, advanced, do something before the session is over, right? Get them out there and get them done. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Not only that, get a law that pits our law enforcement against federal law enforcement. If they come in our state and try and enact laws that we say is not allowed, we will detain them, we will hold them, we will lock their ass up, and we will keep them. That is what.
Then
I believe you.
The Small Arms Act kind of does that. It doesn't do that as brutally as like what Missouri did, which would be freaking awesome.
Okay.
Right? But it allows law enforcement, allows leaders to jump in and actually act on our behalf and delay and stop federal. It takes off the what's the word am I looking for? The liability off of them, right? And allows them the freedom to do that. And guess what? That one's stalled out. They're stalling it. It's not going anywhere. But I will say this. I did hear that. And I don't know why they play these stupid games over there, right? This is being pushed by people up there that, Zito, right? Christy Zito is pushing it. They don't like Christy Zito. Shoot, that wasn't good. Yeah. They don't like Christy Zito. And she was kind of the one that championed this. They're stalling hers out, and supposedly they've rewritten one that's exactly like it, that's their own. And we'll see if that gets through. Why? Stupid games, man.
Yeah.
Stupid. That's junior high grade school games is what that is.
Yeah, I was telling somebody the other day,
time.
You never get past childhood.
You really
you
don't.
Just get older.
Yeah. You never get past that crap.
You don't. It's silliness your whole life.
I don't understand people. Okay, so let's jump off that.
Okay.
We've got us an article. We haven't had a good article like this in a long. Well, I won't say it's a good article, but a fun article.
Okay.
Like this. This was sent to me by a listener. This takes place in Salisbury, North Carolina.
Okay.
Concealed carrier grabs crotch and runs out of store after negligently shooting himself in the bread aisle. Was he in the bread aisle or did he shoot himself in the bread aisle?
That's not good.
I think he shot himself in the twigs and berries. So it says an armed citizen who was carrying a concealed firearm had a negligent discharge while in the bread aisle of a Food Line grocery store. According to police, a 46-year-old man was inside the store in the bread aisle when something caused a handgun tucked into his waistband of his pants to fire. Okay, so I'm thinking he didn't have a holster.
He didn't have a good one if he did.
I think even if he had a proper holster, it would have protected it a little bit, right? Unless it just adjusted funny. But I know I see Magnum PI carry in this.
Appendix carry.
I see waistband carry. It was an appendix carry. If you're going to appendix carry, you need a really good holster.
Mm-hmm.
You need a good holster.
I want a good holster, a safety. Probably gonna keep one out of the chamber.
Live a little, man. I carry appendix. It's okay. You gotta have. So it says I love this. There's a statement from someone who saw this happen. This guy said, "I turned around to see him grab his crotch and run to the front of the store. Scared the crap out of me and some other shoppers. People were heading to the exit as fast as possible. I would say, I would take a guess and say that the man's firearm was not properly holstered, or maybe wasn't holstered at all. If you're going to carry, you need to do so in a safe manner. That includes a molded holster specifically designed for your model firearm that has adequate retention and doesn't go anywhere when you're moving around." So there you go. Proper holster, people.
Did they ever find the guy? He had to go to a hospital or something.
The article is really short. I'm sure they did, right?
We need follow-ups on this guy.
We should.
I mean, did he leave a blood trail?
He probably bled out in the parking lot.
There's a lot there's a lot more I want to know about this story.
Me too. It's not as good as the one that we heard. I think you came up with it. The one down in Arkansas where those two people were hearing voices and speaking to people they couldn't see and shooting at each other with 22s. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. That was the best story I've heard. We had a lot of fun with that one.
And the wife ratted them out.
And the wife
tired of them.
Tired of them shooting at each other with 22s.
Shooting each other in the yard.
Oh, shoot. So, ready for the topic now?
Let's do it.
Those were just little topics.
Right.
We got us a big topic. I want to talk about something that happened last weekend. So, I'm not the only, it was an unfortunate incident, but I'm not the only instructor in town. There's other instructors in the valley here, right? And, there was an accident where in another competitor's class, someone had a negligent discharge and shot themselves in the hand.
Ooh.
Yeah, not good at all. And I don't want to call those people out. I don't want to call that company out. But I want to take a moment to kind of just learn from the incident, right? You want to learn from it. You want to make sure. I used to work at a couple. Every company has these, I think, but I saw them mostly when I worked in like food plants and whatnot. And when I used to actually work there, I worked at a place where we actually made cheese, and we had in place what we call SOPs, which is standard operating protocols.
Right.
I think that if you're an instructor, if you have a range and you teach people, I think you have to have some SOPs in place.
Right.
And I think they need to be good SOPs, especially when you're dealing with firearms. I've always been taught, and this is the way I've always done it, especially when I have a permit class. A permit class, I do a few different types of classes. I have permit classes, and I can have anywhere from 12 to 30 people in those classes, okay? If I do a private class, it's me and one person or just a couple other people. If I do the women's group classes, I have quite a few people in those. But whenever you have a class, you need to instruct to the lowest skill level in that class, okay? If you've got 30 people, if you've got 16 people, whatever it is, if there's someone that is brand new, you have to instruct to that person, right? You don't want to talk over them. You don't want to teach above them. They need to understand what's going on, and they need to understand the safety rules. So we have the 4 safety rules, right? The 4 safety rules are, and this is in any particular order, but it's treat every firearm like it is loaded, even if you know it is unloaded. Keep your finger off the trigger till you're ready to fire the gun. And never point the gun at anything you're not willing to kill or destroy, and always know your target and what is beyond, right? And what is in front of your target too, right?
Right.
So you know what you're shooting at. You know what's going to stop your round, right? Those are the 4 safety rules. When I have a bigger class, the way I do it is I tell everyone in class, I am going to assume that you guys don't know what you're doing. I have to do that, right?
Right.
I have to keep you safe, me safe, and everyone else in this class safe. and I'm going to retain control of the firearms. That doesn't mean I have them gather them all up and give them to me. That means no one touches their firearms in the classroom, right? They stay holstered, they stay in the cases, they stay in your bags, they stay in your cars, right? When we go do the shooting portion, we go out, I have a firing line. And I assign everyone a lane. You can handle your firearms up on the firing line, and that is where your firearm stays. I have tables lined up. Everything stays on the table. Everything points down range. Everyone stays behind the firing line, okay? Now, if I've got 30 people, I bring in other people. This last class, I had 14 people, and I like to cut it down into where I had 2 group shooting to where it was 7 people groups. I do that I have 15 firing lanes. I could essentially, if I had to, I could have had everyone up there shooting at the same time on my last class, but I break it down. 7 people in group 1, 7 people in group 2, and guess what? I still had 2 guys here helping me. So I had a guy on each end and a guy in the middle. That's essentially like 2 1/4 people per person, right? To keep an eye on. I overdo it on safety. You always want to overdo it on safety. Now, the firearms stay on the table. They are not loaded until I tell them to be loaded, and then you load the magazines. And in this class, specific class, it's 7 rounds. You load the magazines. You step away from the table. When it's your turn to shoot, I'll call you up to shoot. Your group 1. Group 1 step up to the table. They step up there. They don't touch the firearms. They don't touch anything. They stare at their guns. It's pretty much what I have them do. And if they touch their firearms, I always make a big deal about it. I don't call them out. But I'm like, no, put the gun down. We're not ready yet. I say eyes and ears. Everyone looks, checks their eyes, checks their ears. And then I say range is hot, fire when ready. When I say that, then they can pick up their firearms. They can shoot the drill. When they're done, slide comes to the locks to the rear. They drop the magazine out of the empty magazine out of the firearm. They leave the firearm on the table, slide lock to the rear, empty magazine next to it, pointed down range, and they step away from the table. No one's picking up those firearms until I tell them to. Right? That's the way I do it. Now, I've gone to some other classes where they pretty much did the same thing, right? Now, every now and then a class will have a table. If you're having issues with your firearm, you go over to the table, and it's off to the side, not downrange, off to the side, pointed in a different direction where you can work on your firearm, adjust your firearm if you're having problems with it, whatever you need to do, right? It's away from everybody. So, I haven't had to do that, but some classes do that. Now, the place where the class that this person was in that shot themselves in the hand, they do things differently. Everyone does some stuff differently, and they have different SOPs in place, right? It's taken me a while to kind of perfect mine, right, and have it the way I want it to. You need to know that if you go and take a class from anyone, I don't care if it's a permit class, I don't care whose class it is or where you're at, I don't care if it's freaking my class. If you retain the right as a student, as a paying customer or anyone, right, if you see anything unsafe in that class, anything unsafe, you can pack up and leave.
Right.
You can pack up and leave. In fact, I've done that with just people going shooting before I even had this business. If I'm going to go shooting with people I don't know, I drive myself. If I see something safe there, if Joe's been drinking and I show up and he wants to shoot, I'm getting in my truck and I'm leaving, right? You retain the right to leave. And the instructor, that company should, by all rights, go up and talk to him. Tell him you think it's unsafe. Tell him what you see. Tell him if you think he's unsafe, right?
I was at the drone range one time.
Yeah.
Guys are walking down range when it's hot.
Yeah.
I said, that's it. We out of here. Let's go.
It's scary stuff.
I don't even want to be a witness to this. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it's scary stuff. And the instructor, right? By all means, if it's me, I know what I do. You feel unsafe, you want to go. I totally get it. I understand. I'll tell you what, I can give you your money back. I'll give them their money back. I'll give you your money back for the class. I respect your decision. Or, hey, would you like to come back at a later time and do this? Just you and me, where you feel safer, right?
Right.
I have no problem doing that. But you reserve the right as a student to leave at any time. You really do. And as an instructor, I kind of scope out. I have all morning in these bigger classes. To the duration of the class, I kind of scope out who might be a little nervous, who might be a first timer. In fact, I have people go around and tell me, when did you start shooting? What's your experience? Because I want to know, right? And I do this so I can assign them lanes based on their experience. I don't have a bunch of brand new people down on one end that's going to overload one of my range help. We spread them out. We even them out, right? And I get a sense and a feel for who's new, who's nervous, because people, they get nervous, they get stressed out, right? Some people, when they're older, they get arthritis in their hands. They can't move their hands. People do interesting things when they're nervous. They fumble and fiddle. I know who those people are, and I try to help them out the best extra that I can. And if they are really stressed out or they're really having trouble, what I do is I tell them, hey, would it make you more comfortable if you wanted to come back later on or come back next week or something and do this by yourself, right? I try to eliminate that. If they're nervous, they're not going to learn well, and that's when accidents could happen, right? If I see someone that's fumbling with it, I will go and I will help them and I will do whatever I can, but you've got to pay attention to those who are struggling. That's why you teach a class to the lowest skill level that's present in that class. And does what I'm saying make sense?
Yes.
Am I going...
No, you're fine. You can tell I've been
thinking about
this. You've been
this.
pondering on this. A lot of people have problems with ranges, and they don't understand what a range master is, and it's like they're uncomfortable with what they can do. They just don't know.
Right. And I've learned too that, doing these classes, if you people, what do you look at?
Oh, nothing. Somebody nailed the caliber.
Yeah. James up there making comments. If I lost my train of thought.
Okay, you were on safety.
I was on, of course,
standard operating procedures.
Standard operating procedures. What was I going to say?
Nothing's foolproof, but you can minimize these circumstances. You can eliminate stuff that is clearly unsafe and improve over time. And people have problems, they can bring that problem to you, and if it's legitimate, you can add that into your SOP.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of classes too, though. And what I try to do is I try to minimize.
Got him back on track.
Yeah, you did. I've been thinking about this all week, right? I mean, this is.
Yeah, you going, man.
I've had to think about this. I want to use this as a way to fix anything maybe that I'm doing, right? Lessons learned. Now I'm off track again. You want to minimize handgun manipulation.
Right.
I mean, that's a big thing, right? Handguns don't leave the table, okay? I've heard of classes that have loading tables behind the firing or behind the people that are on the firing line. Mm-hmm. People are packing guns around. They're going up, they're firing their guns. They're then carrying their guns back to the table behind everyone else, then loading their firearms and then standing there with a loaded firearm in their hand while they're waiting for their turn to walk back up to the firing line and shoot. Why you do that is beyond me. You don't want to manipulate your firearms. You don't want to pack around your firearms.
That's an accident waiting to happen.
It is. I mean, it is. Now, have I had close calls in my class? I've had things happen in my class. No one's gotten shot, right? Stuff's happened, and you learn and you adjust and you move on, right? But here's the thing. If you're following the safety rules and something does happen, if you're following the safety rules, then it happened, but maybe no one's going to get hurt, right?
Right.
Don't put your hands or feet or arms or whatever, or any body parts in front of the firearm. Keep it pointed in a safe direction. If the gun goes off, it goes off and it discharges into the ground. That's what you want, right? Where's the safe direction if you're loading the guns back behind the firing line? There is no safe direction, right? You don't even have a down range. You point it down there and someone's going to get a hole in their foot. You point it down at the ground, right? You can't point it down range.
I don't understand how she shot herself in the hand.
I will demonstrate. I've thought this through and played this through as well, and
I will. Back on your.
Yeah, I will demonstrate that. So another thing I think, and I will tell you right now, James, and I knew a little bit of first aid and whatnot, and James actually has come forward and he helped my women's class, and we went over in depth in it's like a stop the bleed type class, right? How to, apply tourniquets and different types of tourniquets and how to do. And I will say, I can't thank James enough for doing that. Those women, he doesn't realize how many of the women in that women's group got a hold of me over the next few days. And they were like, okay, what do I need to buy on Amazon? What do I need to buy? What do I need to order? I want to put my kit together. Absolutely fantastic response to that class. And James, I copied you a little bit and I took the gear that I did have and I ordered me a new pouch, and I got your ouch pouch to put on there, and I've got 2 or 3 of those things made up. And I think that every instructor needs to know that stuff. They need to have that stuff available, right? They need to have everything laid out in case something like this happens. And it just, from what I hear, without going into detail, there were so many rules broken and so many mistakes made, but you've got to minimize it. As if you're an instructor and you're listening to this, you've got to have a plan in place. And let's do this too. Let's say this. I don't care if you aren't an instructor. If you go out with your buddies to shoot, have a plan in place, right? Draw a line, take a rope with you, have a firing line, have some rules, right? Even out here, when, you've been with me when you shot, James has come over and shot before, Henry, everyone's come over and shot with me before. And you know what? We still have a firing line. We still put eyes and ears on. That's always very, very important. And essentially, range is hot. And before someone starts shooting, they usually look around and go, I'm going hot. Is everyone good? Everyone got their gear, right?
Yeah.
And we check with everybody. And that's the way it needs to happen.
And thank you. That's the courteous thing to do, because I hate when somebody starts blasting and I done took my ears off so I can hear you, so I can talk to you.
Yeah. And
it's like, hey.
And that's the right thing to do.
Right.
And I just, like I said, I don't want to hound. I just wanted to use this as an example. I mean, stuff can happen. And I'll be honest with you, this could very well, you can minimize it at the most you can, but there's always that small percentage that sometimes
lightning strikes.
Shit just happens.
Yeah.
But if you're prepared for it. So when it does happen, you've got that plan in place. You got a plan in place to try and keep it from happening. That's all we can do, right? This could very well happen to me. As safe as I think I am, this could very well happen to me. I will add this to the mix, though, something else I thought about today. And I even posted about it on Facebook a little bit. As an instructor, I have, even just being my range, period, but even in a class, I'm an instructor, and I have the ultimate say as to what happens on that range. I can tell you to get out and go home because you're being unsafe. Anything I say goes. And if you don't like the way I run a class, if you don't like how controlled, because I have people that don't like me to tell them when to load their magazines, right? They get mad when they have to unload their magazines because they've got a 30-round happy stick loaded up for the freaking class, right? They get mad when I have them unload every round out of the happy stick and just load 7 rounds in at a time. They get pissed. I have the last say of what happens on that range, and I'm doing it to keep me safe, you safe, and everybody on that range safe.
Right.
We want to go on and live for another day, right? No blood. I don't like blood. We don't want to see blood. So there you go. If you got a problem with that, then I tell you to leave or come back at a later time. I don't have a problem. That's one of the reasons why I typically don't make people pay before class, because if I need to get rid of you and tell you to pack up your stuff and leave, there's no arguments.
Well, the range master's, he's in charge of that range. That range is his. It's his responsibility. Now, you can't be responsible if there's just some nut that just loses their crap. But for the most part, stuff like that, you got to listen. This is what you're here for.
Yep, exactly. In fact, one of the other things that I do, I know some places don't do this, and it's just me. I don't personally carry. I'll be honest with you. I don't carry my gun during class. I have my firearms with me in my bag, but I'm afraid if I'm instructing and I go to draw my gun to demonstrate something and that sucker's loaded, that's not good, right? I mean, it's muscle memory. Well, let me show you. And I draw my gun. And I'm like, whoa, all of a sudden that's a hot gun. I don't even do that. I take that out of the equation. And that's the way I do it. So, you got a fan up there.
Yeah.
We're referring to the YouTube live video. We got people who want Cajun Cowboy to get his podcast up and going again.
I've been working. I tell you, I've spent 30 hours trying to find one clip.
You'd have just told me.
It's 15 years old.
It would have taken.
You can't find nothing anymore.
I could have talked through my shirt. I could have made it up for you, man.
I still didn't get it right, but I got everything loaded. All I got to do is knock it out.
Okay, we got it. Then you got her. Yeah, if you need some help, I really enjoyed that day I was on your podcast. We're done with the safety talk, by the way. But I really enjoyed that evening when I was on your podcast.
The star of the show.
I forget.
Bringing the lizard people.
I don't know. Maybe I wasn't good for your show. You know what? I was on this show once, and I have not been invited back since. I'm beginning to think there's a reason why. I really am. I did tell him I was good for an alien show. I'm good for any show, but I'm good for an alien show.
I'm doing some aliens on the next one.
The 30-hour one?
That's one of the clips it took forever to find.
You know, the government came out and said something else new about aliens.
Yeah, they're steadily releasing stuff.
Oh man.
Disclosure.
So I'm good about aliens, and I'm good about I'm good with a church podcast whenever you want to go religion podcast.
Okay.
So, okay, there you go. Anyhow, sir, thank you for giving me some time this Saturday afternoon. I appreciate it. We're shutting her down, man. Can you tell?
Yeah.
I can't ever come up with a smooth transition for that.
For what, to shut down?
Yeah, we just shut it off and be done with it.
Just say we're done.
We're done. Bye. Next week. No, I appreciate you, man. It's good to get you back here. We talk on the phone, but we've been a few weeks didn't even talk on the phone.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
It has been crazy, but the weather's warm now. It's
You still got to give all your contact information.
I do. I haven't got to that.
Okay.
We do things
All right.
differently, sir. You haven't been here for 4
All right.
months.
All right. Yeah, it's true. It's been a while.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys watching on YouTube Live. Share that with your friends. You can take that link. You can shove it up on your your social medias. I do appreciate that. I know there's some that do that every week, and I sure appreciate that. If you don't want to watch it and you're listening to this via the podcast, the audio portion, you can find the podcast on Stitcher, iTunes. What's that? Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify.
Yeah,
anywhere
everywhere.
where you can find a podcast, you can find me. And if not, let me know, and I will get it up there.
You've seen those new podcast places, right?
Oh, which one?
What the fear is now is they can't ban podcasts.
They're going to ban the people to put them out?
Spotify and stuff is looking to buy up these, like Libsyn.
You like Libsyn, okay.
They start buying that, then they can ban podcasts. So there's new podcast stuff coming on.
Oh, I'm going to have to
show
switch.
it to you.
We might have to get us an old van from the 70s. And what we'll do is we'll just throw our stuff in there. We'll
Put a big loudspeaker on
big
top.
loudspeaker, big antenna. We'll just broadcast live as we drive all over the high desert of Idaho. What do you think? We broadcast into the freaking antelope or something.
Okay.
That'd be sweet. But if you got any questions, if you got any comments, if you want to be on the podcast, you can get a hold of me. You can call me. You can text me, area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. And I already have next week's podcast all planned out.
Okay.
Is that impressive to you?
That is impressive. What is it?
I got a lady by the name of Mo. She's going to call in. She's going to be on the podcast. She lives up around Boston.
Okay.
And she is new. Yeah, she is new to the firearm. She didn't like
Boston.
She didn't. Don't do that. She gets pissed when you do that.
Come on, they do it to me.
She is new to firearms. That she is just taken to it. She absolutely loves it. She actually up there where she lives. She actually helps a local instructor out in all his classes and helps fill them. And she's there and she helps on the range. And
They can have guns in Boston?
somewhere up in Mass, I don't know. but she's going to talk to us about the firearms laws up there, just like we had that guy from New York, John from New York.
You know what they say?
What?
Everything's illegal in Boston.
Everything.
Everything.
Well, she's going to tell us. And I think Jillian, she's going to come on as well. She's been in firearms for a couple of years now, and she's been on the podcast once before, but I think she's going to come on, and she is going to come on with us and talk to Mo, and you can come too.
Okay.
Would you want to be here?
We got to see how that works out.
Okay. Well, the invite is always there, sir, but I'm excited. We're going to try to do that.
It's 2 weeks in a row. I can't believe I made it.
I know. So we're going to try to do that on Saturday evening. I think I had to set a time for her, so I'm thinking 6 o'clock. I actually had to schedule this one. So we will see what happens. But until then, everyone have a great week. I know we're going to have tons of great weather here. Tarver wants it to snow again.
Yep.
But you guys have a great week, and we will see you next week. Bye.